As a child, you would wait and watch from far away.
Hey everyone, Jessica here, and we are back with another episode of Horizon the Forbidden West, and well, today's episode is a bit different, to say the least, because, episode 4 and, 5 are, how should I put this? The quality is kinda bad, and by bad, I mean, it's 16-bit or 8-bit or whatever, basically, Atari level graphics, if you will. That's how bad the quality was. So here's what happened before we start off this recap episode, because that's what I decided to do. When I was recording, or when I was streaming the Horizon Forbidden West playthrough, it turns out I didn't have enough storage to keep on recording because my PS5 storage is almost full. So, yay! Because most of the clips consisted of episodes 1 to 3, and a couple Miles Morales stuff I forgot to delete. So the PS5 storage was almost a bit full, so I couldn't record anymore. So the bright idea I had was extract the VOD. How bad could that have gone? Well, how should I put this? Turns out that the VOD, I guess when streaming this game on the PS5, made the quality terrible. It's like a bug in the game where if you try streaming from the PS5 directly, it makes the quality worse. Like, it turns it into 16-bit whenever you're moving around or like turning or walking. Whenever things are staying still or the cutscene is like all smooth and there's not much movement, it's fine. But the moment you start going all over the place, start attacking stuff, grinding resources, riding around on your horse and all that, that's when the quality decides to go into 16-bit whenever starting watching. So I tried googling how to fix that, and turns out there's not an answer. So the quality is stuck at 16-bit whenever I'm walking around or moving or doing something cool. And well, that's pretty much most of the VOD. Most of the VOD is literally 16-bit. Whenever it's not a 16-bit, it's when there's a cutscene or I'm just standing still. And that's roughly about 20-30 minutes of gameplay. But I want to show you guys how good my skills are in the Horizon Forbidden West gameplay. So I didn't want to just upload only the cutscenes and all that. I decided to ask my chat on what I should do, and they agreed that I should do a recap. And I felt like it was a good way. And I didn't write a script for this, so I'm just winging it, which is probably a bad idea. But without further ado, let's get into this recap, shall we? Okay, so for episode 4, we begin the episode with a cutscene, of course, because that's how we ended off the last episode. It was right before the cutscene started, but all the Forbidden West tribes come to meet up. Or not all, but most, like the warrior type of tribes come to meet with us, and we start the negotiations to have the Oseram, the Karja, and pretty much everyone from all the tribes from the first game allow us to travel through the Forbidden West with ease and not have to worry about getting killed, because the Forbidden West tribes and the Zero Dawn tribes, they had some beef in the past, so you can see how that went. But obviously the negotiations couldn't go smoothly because we need plot, and we have to have we have to find out who our enemies are. So all of the Forbidden West warriors agreed to bring peace and kumbaya with us, except for one, which are the Tanaf? Yeah, close enough. I don't know how to say their name yet, so forgive me. The game knows how to say it better, but the Tanaf are a ruthless tribe that they don't like the Oseram, the Karja, or any Zero Dawn tribes. So as soon as they saw us, they immediately wanted to try to kill us, as well as all the other Forbidden West members that were there at the meeting. What better way than without some blood, arrows, and some other malarkey? But there's a twist when it comes to the Forbidden West tribe, the Tanaf. It turns out that they know how to control and ride machines. Obviously, we know a certain someone probably learned them that, aka Silence. So it seems Silence has already been to the Forbidden West and has done some snooping around and helping some of the Forbidden West tribes out, making it harder for us to try to get our journey to stop the Blight. Yay! But without further ado, they begin the ambush and start attacking us. Most of the Karja members that were there to start the negotiating treaty are dead. Same thing with the Forbidden West tribes. About half or most of them died from the rain of arrows and bristlebacks that they controlled. Vral, I can't say his name either, I'm so sorry, Vral. It's up to us and a few other Forbidden West tribe members left to try to hold our ground and stop the Tanaf from trying to kill us. As you can tell, that's when the combat begins, and I start taking all these members out left and right with ease. I only died once, maybe twice. I can't remember, but this way you should join the stream so you can see how many times I died during the Forbidden West playthrough. But I take them all out with ease until they decided to do like a mini boss-ish of one of the Tanaf warriors, who's like, I guess, a brute leader, or I don't know how the ranking of Tanaf leaders goes, but he's like a higher up. He's more higher up than the regular soldier brutes or whatever. So he asked if he can challenge. He asked their leader, like the way higher up of the Tanaf tribe, the one who's leading the tribe, if we can do a 1v1. She says yes, that I can 1v1, or that he can 1v1 me, and that's when the mini boss starts. Once we defeated the big brute guy, after a few arrows dodging here and there, we yoinked the shield, turned into a glider, of course, and we asked the leader to challenge us, or Aloy tells the leader to challenge us and face us like a true warrior. She says no and says I get to live another day as well as everyone else, and they flee. They scurry away back to their bases and whatnot. After that whole crazy fight, we decided to pick up all the wounded and the fallen soldiers that died at the battle, and we decided to bury. Once we took care of the Tanaf, we decided to ask a few of the remaining tribe members of the Forbidden West, try to get some information about Tanaf, see where their bases are and all that, and we decided to ask if they have cauldrons in the area, and which they do. Or not cauldron, tall neck. I don't know how I got cauldron and tall necks mixed up, but we found out where our first tall neck was. Once we were finished talking with them, we decided to go to our first tall neck, not cauldron. Remember, tall neck, not cauldron. We decided to go to our first tall neck, which wasn't very far, like a few 500 meters or 500 walking meters, or however you want to use the measurement for the game. We decided to start running all the way over there without grinding a few pieces here and there, yoinking some berries, yoinking some animal flesh, and again killing a few Tanaf members and big boy robo dinosaurs. And once we finally made it to the tall neck, it was obviously surrounded by a few machines. Once we cleared the land of all the machines that were walking around the tall neck, protecting it, semi-protecting it. It was kind of protecting it. We decided to climb up this tall, big internet tower thing, satellite tower, same thing. We decided to climb it up and then jump off the satellite tower onto the tall neck. We yoinked our stick, hovered above its head, get a surrounding of our area, and bada bing, bada boom. That's our tall neck done, and we have a good surrounding of our area. It's no longer covered in clouds. It's covered in mist clouds. Ooh, special. We decided to go to our first bandit camp and try to explore and get some more information out of them. So we decided to be a sniper and snipe out a few loners hanging around the outside area. With ease, we were able to take care of it, as well as just take out a few machines that they had overridden that they were raiding. We decided to go inside the camp and finish off the rest. Once we took out all the soldiers, we decided to 1v1 again with this similar boss to the cutscene that has like a giant shield, and this time this guy had a sword instead of a bow and arrow, unlike the other ones. We did combat once we took out the shield. I start whooping its butt easily. This camp was easy mode for me. I didn't die at all, that's how you know I'm a good god gamer at the Horizon franchise. Once we fully cleared out the camp, we found some blaze that we had to destroy, so we blew up the blaze, and we set on our journey and try to explore the land and do a few side quests. That's pretty much how episode 4 went. And now let's begin episode 5, shall we? We started running around the area on our horse. We wound up on an abandoned camp-ish type of thing where it looked like it was used by one person, and there used to be something big there, but it was dragged out. So on further inspection of the camp, it turns out that Silence was there, and we were somewhat behind, like a good old 11 days behind on the camp. So we found out what the giant thing was, and it turns out it was none other than the AI himself, Hades. And it turns out once we got to Hades, we interacted with him, we did some weird Matrix type of thing. But once we did some Matrix stuff, turns out that Hades had some fun with him and decided to extract as much info as he can from him before allowing us to finish him off. So once we met Hades, he of course tells us that Silence interrogated him, asked him a few questions here and there, yoinked some info. Once we finished telling us that, we decided to ask our own questions about Gaia. We decided to ask him where Gaia is, or like the AIs for Gaia, and it turns out he wouldn't tell us because corruption and all that malarkey. You know how technology stuff works, like corruption and all that. So there wasn't much we could ask him. He thinks that he won and that we lost since we're having trouble finding the Gaia backup systems and all that. So once we were done asking him questions and we couldn't get much answers from him, we finally finished off Hades by giving him the good old override system malarkey, or however technology overriding thing works. And then bada bing bada boom, Hades is officially done. There's no more Hades. We killed him. And to even ensure of it, once we finish getting out of the Matrix type of thing with Hades, Silence decides to come to us through holographic form, and he tells us that you can trust me. He's gone, don't worry, trust me. And it sounded sincere, so we're gonna have to take his word on it. We decided to ask Silence what kind of info he took from Hades and why he didn't just officially kill it off. And of course he said he's trying to save the Earth as well, but he's getting more results than her, and that's why he didn't want to kill off Hades. Once we were done giving him questions, he give us an unexpected answer. It turns out that he purposely led Hades to the certain location, which is a giant bunker type thing. It's somewhat like a cauldron, but it's not a cauldron. It's just like a giant underground building. So it turns out Hades found the Gaia storage output thingy majiggy, but it's locked behind a giant door that only we can get through. He decides to leave Hades there and allow us and pray that we would find Hades and find the door. We found Hades, but we didn't realize about the door part until Silence told us. Once Silence told us about the door, we decided to use our Alpha Prime high level of security to try to open the door. But the problem is that the door is semi-open. There's like this weird plant thing or rock thing that's blocking the way. So we decided to craft a new thing called an igniter that's attached to our stick. Once we blew up this red crystal flower thing, the doors have officially started to open, and the doors go further back, and we're now inside this bunker base type of ordeal. We decided to walk around the base, explore, yoink some loot, get some stuff here and there. Once we reach this giant lab, we find this giant spider-looking thingamajiggy. We decided to start getting to work on the machine and use it to try to yoink Gaia. The problem is that it's blocked off because it needs power, so we decided to shoot this giant machine that's like a spider-looking type of thing that'll help give it some power and allow us to move from one station to the next to try to give even more power to then unlock the storage that has Gaia, or the Gaia backup. Once we finally finished all of that, we unlocked Gaia's backup, or the thing that's containing Gaia's backups. Once this little port thing or whatever the heck that was containing Gaia's backup comes up, we yoink it, and it turns out that it's not all of Gaia's backup. It's only like a piece. It's like 10% of it. We decided to go to this table that we can insert Gaia's backup thing in, and it turns out only one of all the AIs is in the storage backup, and we have to find the others. We decided to start searching around the world, try to find where the other backups are, mostly around America, because, well, we're stuck in America, so we can't really swim across the other continents. We look around the Earth, try to do a scan, try to find where the closest AIs are to try to find so we can fully restore Gaia to its glory 100%. It turns out Minerva is the closest one to us. It's 1,000 meters away, and since we have that information, we decided to yoink the system out of the computer, hang on to it, and try to get out of there. But turns out we're not the only ones trying to restore Gaia's backup. Suddenly, we get an immediate intruder alert from the bunker. They have arrived, and they're beyond the door that we just came in. With the bare minimum room we have to try to find a hiding spot and make sure these people don't try to attack us or whatever. Now, Silence says that they want to attack us or kill us because they need us to try to bring Gaia to its 100%ness or whatever. But we don't trust them because we're calling bull on that one. Once Aloy and Silence are done talking, we yoink our little AirPod or our focus out of our ear and just destroy it, and then equip a new one. Once we put that new one up, we decide to go into hiding and make sure not to get caught by whoever these people are that are beyond the door that we just came out of. As we're hiding, the door finally opens, and it turns out there are these humans, and with these group of humans, which is only like 4 people, out of the 4, there's one person that looks very familiar. One of them is another Elizabeth Sobek clones. I guess these group of people have their own version of Aloy now, so yay. But she's not really a fighter, she seems like a scientist type of person. As we're hiding, they find another Gaia backup that the storage unit was holding. As they're messing around with the bunch, one of the things we were hiding behind moves up and goes away because of what they were pressing and all that. They notice us, and without hesitation, Aloy gets her bow ready and gets ready to shoot. Out of the 4 people, their leader of the group tells their big brute guy or whatever to deal with us, so we decide to 1v1 this giant brute. As they're leaving, we decide to shoot our bow at the brute. It turns out he is immune to our arrows. He is immune to literally anything. We shoot 5 arrows at him, and they phase through him. He's like a ghost pretty much. It's like we're shooting at him and it's going past him, like hitting the wall. Obviously he's immune to our arrows, so boss fight time. I decided to start shooting my frosting at him, my little little acid arrows at him, my little electricity thing at him, and all of it is just going way past him. Like, it has no effect on him. He is literally like a ghost. We had a theory on how we might be able to defeat him, so we decided to shoot the arms off this thing and try to drop some stuff onto him. And it semi-worked. Once we finished shooting all the arms off and the giant machine starts falling onto the platform now me and this big guy are on, and he immediately starts running back and backs up away to try not to fall into the water. Well, we weren't so lucky because there's like this little stairway that connects the platform to the door or whatever, and he was in the safe area. Unlike us, we weren't, so we had to fall down with the machine as well going into the water. And it turns out that this brute guy had machines with him that were just hanging on the wall, so he ordered his robots to make sure that we stay dead. We decided to start swimming out of there and try to find another exit to get out of this bunker. After a few minutes of swimming around trying to avoid these cheeky buggers, because they are really strong. Once we made it to this room, there was this little ignite thingamajiggy, or another one of those igniter red crystal flower things or whatever. We decided to stab it, and it blows up, and then there's this blue thing that we have a grappling hook for, so we grapple that, pull it a little bit, and then we create a hole to help us escape. But it turns out the hole was like around the water area. All the water that was in the room with us starts immediately falling into the hole and dragging us with it. We just got a whirlpool, kinda, somewhat, but the water was dragging us, and once we reached outside, we accidentally hit a log and got knocked out unconsciously. But once our body floated to the bed of a river, Vral was lucky enough to see us there and help us out. Vral picked us up and dragged us to one of the Forbidden West tribes called the Utamanar. I don't know how to say their name. They're a peaceful tribe and they're pretty chill. Once we woke up from our unconscious coma or sleeping or whatever you want to call it, we decided to meet with Vral, and it turns out I was knocked out for 4 days apparently. And it turns out that Vral saved us a trip. Instead of 1,000, we are now like 300 meters away from the mountain, or like the location of one of the Gaia AIs or whatever, to help restore Gaia to its full potential. I decided to ask V, the person that helped us out, try to see if there's any way that she can help us get into the mountain area. We had to go meet the leaders themselves to try to ask them nicely to negotiate our way to get into the mountain. And one of the ways we decided to help prove the case was when we woke up and talked with V, they had their own machine, which was like a Nozutoceratops type of machine. The Nozutoceratops machine was injured. One of the machine pieces, like a coolant or whatever, was misaligned, so Aloy, with the power of her focus, knew what to do, and we decided to fix the Nozutoceratops right back into good old shape. Once the Nozutoceratops was back to normal and no longer sick or whatever, V decided to take the action that Aloy did into consideration to try to help us get into the mountain quicker. Give the council members of the leader tribes of the Utamata a better reason on why we should go into the mountain. But once we finished talking to V, she recommends that we rest because we're not fully healed, so Vral and V help take Aloy back to her bed where she gets some more rest. Once a day passes, we wake up and we're fully healed after a day, and we decided to meet up with Vral and V, and they said that they were able to make an arrangement with the council, and we have to go attend the meeting or whatever to try to talk to them more about getting into the mountain. And I agree to go with them, try to go to this council meeting or whatever, and that's pretty much where episode 5 ends off as. Pretty insane episodes for 4 and 5, and I am so sorry if I gave a terrible explanation of this. This is what I get for not doing the script version of this, or writing a script for this. I hope I did a semi-good explanation of episode 4 to 5 of the Forbidden West. I'm sorry if I didn't do much on explaining of what on earth happened between those episodes, but since we got episode 4 to 5 done, now you guys will get episode 6, and you guys will have some context of what on earth is going on with the Forbidden West and how our journey's gone. If you guys did enjoy this recap, thank you for sticking till the end. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, no dislikes, and Jurassichero's out of here.